Sure. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Nazokat. My surname is Sabitova. And currently, I am the PhD student in a Tashkent University of the Information Technologies. So currently, I am doing my PhD research in this institution, in this university. And my research area focuses on the medical images. Uh, and mostly I work with endoscopic images. So, um, and in my dissertation, my main problem is to detect the ulcers using the endoscopic video and images, ulcers and the cancer during the process observation of the GI tract. So today we will talk about the research paper. So that's why this is the first meeting. So, and is this lecture is about the introduction to the research. So let's start. So what is academic research paper? So what is a research? So research is a writing uh, research writing is the writing that use evidences from the journals, books, magazines, internet, and the subject experts to persuade or inform an audience about the particular point. So you have some problem, you find some problem, and you want to give some suggestions or some improvements, some solutions, and you will review others' work and compare and comprise some results maybe. So, and you will give this solution to the public. Yes, so this is research. So we have different types of the research papers. So it can be academic, journalist, and other research articles that is written to the journals and magazines. But academic research paper differs from them. So an academic research paper is a formal document that presents an original study or analysis on a specific topic. So you will focus some specific topic. So for example, you will work, you are working with medical images, yes, but your specific medical image can be MRI images, yes, PET scans, or endoscopic images, and so on. So in this case, for example, and you are not just working with images, you are focusing on solve or give some suggestion to some specific disease in this field. For in my case, I specifically focus on the ulcers in a GI tract. So and so on. So in an academic research paper, you should include your thesis statement, so your evidence and source citations. So you will not just give your thoughts, insights, or persuasions like when you're writing to the magazine. When you're writing to your to magazine, doing research, you can compare and you can use your logic and write some suggestions. But in academic research, you should persuade other researchers that your research is followed some specific rules. You have compared, and then you given your solution, and it is better solution than others. So main components of the research article. So the first thing that you see in the research, it's title, yes? So title is one of the most things you should pay attention because before reading the article, we will write the title, yes? So you should include main keywords in your title, and you should be specific in your title also. So the title should indicate the focus of the paper and should contain enough relevant keywords to enable readers to find this paper when searching the relevant databases. So we have two types of the titles, descriptive titles and conclusion titles. So descriptive titles can be uh, the focuses the states which states the focus of the study. For example, the effect of heat on ice. Yes, it's like descriptive title. But in conclusion titles, it provides the main conclusion solutions of the author, and it can be like heat melts ice. So, but in academic research papers, it's suggested to use descriptive titles because uh, so you have some solution to the problem and you will like write a title in your research paper, but you should not be like concluding that your solution is the most reliable. Yes, most because after sometimes there can be a new solution to the current problem and some improvements to your research and so on. So that's why it's better to use descriptive titles. So general length of the title should be around the 5 to 10 words. So next is the author details. So author details, so all information about the author, the names, surnames, and affiliation of the author. And the one thing that you should pay attention when you're writing the research paper, you should write the same type style of your names. For example, John A. Jones, John Jones, and the G. A. Jones are very different. Yes, so it's better to choose the one of them because it will be easier to others to follow your research analysis later. So besides that, we have our CID and so on. But however, it's suggested to use this one style in doing the research. So next is keywords. Keywords also important because the keywords helps the search engines to find your paper uh, to others. So the main frameworks maybe or models, architectures that you have applied in your research should be included in a keyword section. So next is the abstract. So abstract also the crucial point because most of the researchers firstly read the abstract, sorry, and they will decide whether to read or not to read the article. So that's why it's like mini paper of your research paper. I mean, so abstract should include the introduction, so background information. For example, in global world, something is happening. Yes, that kind of thing. Just a minute. And yes, someone asking, can we do the meeting on a Google Meet? Yes, we can do. Next time I will organize in Google Meeting also. It's better, I think. So let's continue. So as I said, in abstract, you should include your introduction. So one sentence for background information and one sentence for methods and techniques you use it in your research, and one sentence for results, one sentence for discussion, no, brief discussion, I mean, and the final summary. So all of them should be briefly written in an abstract section. So as it says, to provide a brief summary of the paper along with the title. This is one of the most important components of the research article. So after reading the title, researchers commonly scan the abstract to determine what the author found, and based on this information, they often decide if they will read the rest of the paper or not. So from the abstract, the other researchers should know that is this topic related to the research field or not? So, and you should make abstract as intelligible as possible to general readership. It means that when you're writing the abstract, it's better to avoid some very specific terms, because when we read the abstract, we should understand what is text about. So that's why it should be more general. Most of the people should understand what you want to provide. So tense is the abstract should be written in the past tense for the author's work. So I did research and achieved these results. So this is the past tense, but in other general knowledge or other researcher works, for example, can be included in a present tense. So length, the number of the abstract is really how to say depends on the journal article you want to publish. So that's why it's better to read instruction to authors. So mostly it's about the 150 to 300 words. So IMRAD, so introduction, methods, and discussions are the main parts of our research paper. So introduction. So we know the introduction is all background information, yes? So introduction provides the reader with a background on the research described in the paper. So what's happening, for example, globally, yes? And what's happening in your city, maybe in current living area, and so on. And you will compare the global background information with your local information, and the problem you should provide the problem in worldwide, and you can also provide local what's happening in your local area, or you can compare both of them. And some points should be included in introduction. You should answer some questions. Why the study was undertaken? So what gap in the knowledge of the field were also trying to fill by undertaking this study? So why you are studying this case? Yes. So what's happening? So as I said, what's happening in a worldwide or in your local area? So why you want to study this? What is the problem? Yes. And what problem we're also trying to address? So you may say that cancer is the main death factor globally, yes, but which cancer you are focusing on, and which organ or which solution is better to apply, and so on. So the second point is the nature of the work performed, the variables that were investigated, and the other methods that were used. So here you should include you should write about what kind of techniques are applied to solve this issue, yes, or current techniques or methods have been used to solve this problem. For example, cancer detection by applying the deep learning techniques, uh, or expert-based systems to detect the cancer and so on, or statistical analysis maybe. And it depends really on the sphere that you are focusing on. So next is the state of the problem at the end of the study. And a brief statement of the major findings presented in the paper and the implication of the study, for example, how the work contributes to the big picture. So it means that you have given your background information, the problems, that what's happening on the world and what's happening locally, and what kind of methodologies, methods currently applied to solve this problem, and so on, so on. And you will give your own solution. What have you done in this research to solve this problem? So you see it, how you want to solve or give some suggestions, improvements to this solution, to this problem, sorry. So tense, actually you will use the some for findings, you will use the past tense, and everything else present tense. So it depends on the sentence and information you want to provide. For example, you want to include some historical information, of course it's in past tense. So the length is generally not more than 500 words. So it really depends, because you should firstly read about this section in your journal. So instructs for the authors in this section, instructions for the authors. And because mostly in most journals, that introduction section is mixed with literature review section, most of the cases. So you should pay attention to this. So the next is a literature review. So literature review also can be included in your introduction section. So this section provides an overview of existing research. So justify the need for the articles on the research. When you are doing the literature review, you should firstly find the several articles, around the 15 or 20 articles you should read. And when you're selecting the papers, you should pay attention. Is this paper is really related to the research you are doing? So is this person applying this some technique, yes, their own technique to solve the current problem, so related to yours? For example, so when you are doing research with MRI images, you cannot use ultrasonic images or endoscopic images or another images. It's better to work to read the MRI image papers. Maybe they are try to find not cancer but another illnesses, and they use it other technique, but the MRI image fits you because the research area focuses on the MRI images. So you should pay attention to this. And you can compare several methodologies and find how to say, you should compare your results. Yes, your own results. Your results are better than theirs or not. You should prove, because in a discussion section, you should prove this. So in a literature review, you will analyze others' papers and give the brief information. For example, this is researchers have did this work and achieved these results. But in this in their research, they do not pay attention to these factors. Maybe this is like this. written like this. So you should include their findings, and it's better to include their not drawbacks, maybe some mm, some some factors that they do not include in the research. That's why I did this, and it's better because I have also included these factors in my research. You can say it like this. So in secondary review articles, the literature review is the focus of the research instead of the background to primary research, and is there for detailed methodology and the result section. So it means that also we have a review papers. Yes, in the review papers, the literature review is the main part of the research paper. So in a literature review paper, you will analyze around 200 papers. Yes, maybe more than 200 papers, and by reviewing all of the words, you will make the groups as for the each cases and analyze and write their core findings in your paper. So that's why how you conduct this review process also included uh, in your methodology part. So let's continue. So next is the methods. So methods or methodology and methods and materials and so on. It is the next part. So the method section serves two functions. So to enable readers to evaluate the works performed. So did the author use the most appropriate and accurate techniques for their work, and to permit readers to replicate the study if they desire to do so. So in a methodology section, you will write your own techniques, your methods uh, to 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 solve the current problem or to give some improvements to this situation. Yes. So in the methods section, you should include all techniques, all materials, what kind of variables you have been included, have been used to in your research and so on. For example, what kind of programming tools, what kind of libraries you have used to do this research and so on. So mostly written in the past tense. So style, if several different procedures are described, it's preferable to subdivide the methods section via the use of headings. This enables readers to refer quickly back to the specific methods. So if you have several techniques in your research, it's better to give the subheadings to your research paper. So you may include some material sections separately from the methods and write about your materials. And you may apply some different techniques, for example, for different processes. For example, I have applied the image processing. Yes, I firstly, before doing the image processing, I have done the pre-processing process. So in this pre-processing, I have used these several techniques in my research. So I can include this with subheading in the message section. And after that, I can include the other techniques also. After 10 minutes, it will shut down. So please rejoin to the conference, okay? If we do not finish this. So the next is the result section. It's most short section I can see. In the result section, you will provide your tables, your charts maybe, and your findings, what have been improved in general. So let the data speak. Yes, let the data speak for themselves. Not so many you will just describe your data in a result section. So this have been applied, and we have achieved this results. This is the higher, or this is the lower, and so on, so on. But you will not discuss in the result section. Ideal, there is not ideal word limit. It can be around 200 words. It depends in your analysis, because what kind of metrics you have been used. Yes, it can be 3 or 4 or many 10, or it depends on your research. But you should also pay attention to the style of the journal. So in most journals, results section are mixed with the discussion section. So in this case, you can write your results and also include your description. It's also very, how to say, easy to read, yes? Then separating your result and discussion. You can write the result and discuss this result and compare with others, yes? So that's why you should choose one style. Separately, you want to write the separately results, or you want to mix with the discussion. So results are presented in a past tense. So if you're given, as I said, in a methodology section, if you're given some subheadings in methodology, it's also better to write your results with these subheadings, yes, to follow, it's better to follow this. So most important of your research is your discussion. So here you should prove that your research achieved some results. So discussion section provides the reader with a plausible interpretation of the data reported, and to relate these findings to what other investigators have found. So, as I said, you should persuade that your results are reliable and you have achieved some findings, you have achieved some expected results maybe. You may have low expectancy in some cases, but better results in other metrics. Yes, you should compare. So in my case, this metric was low, but this method was higher, and you should compare in discussion section, and you should prove why it's better to rely on this kind of method or model to solve this problem, or to, how to say, to follow other researchers to include this kind of methodology is really helpful, and so on. So discussion section should also include some points like summary of the conclusion, what author conclude from the data. So most important, not all data should be described. Most important points should be highlighted also in the tables. So most important points are discussed in your discussion section. So relation to other results, so you should do comparison analysis. So this researcher achieved this percentage of the accuracy, but my accuracy is higher for 1%, or 2%, and so on. Aberrant results, any abnormalities or expectations. So you have applied this model and your expectations was very high. And so what is very different in your case? So, and it can be mixed with the second one also. Implications, theoretical or practical implication of the work. So what can be done, where it can be practiced, and so on. And your summary. Summary of your paper. Current tense is a present tense, and your results in the past tense. So generally up to 1,500 words. It really depends because you may see that maybe it can be less or it can be more than, because it really depends on your research paper. So the next part is the acknowledgements and the references. So acknowledgements are the parts where you will write your thanks, like authors and other affiliations maybe that helped uh, to this research, or about the fundings. Before writing these acknowledgements, you should ask the permission from them whether you can include this or not. And you should also include whether this article has been presented in some conferences or not. And next section is the references. So we know that we have a different type of references. So you should follow one type. Before following the one type, firstly you should, of course, you should pay attention to the instructions for the authors. With what kind of reference type is applied to this journal. For example, in our case, mostly IEEE format is used. Yes, we use the brackets, and at the end we will provide the all information, brackets with numbers, yes, square brackets, and at the end we give the full information. But also journals may use another type of the reference. For example, we have a Harvard reference, yes, and so on. So style should be considered also. So, and then the last one is the appendices. So all of the extra materials that you could not include to the research papers, the tables, analysis, can be included to your appendix, supplementary details, and so on. So this may include the search strategies, survey, interview questions, full sets of the results, and so on. So it was all about research paper components. I think it's very useful. So as a home task, I want you to read about the research question, how we formalized the research question. So, and as a home task, I want you to write your research titles, and we will comment to your research titles. You can write in a WhatsApp chat, or you can write directly to me. Do you have any questions? No questions? 1 minute.